Yeah. What's up, man?
What
Welcome to
up?
the Madmen Pod. How's everything going, Adeel?
Going good, man. Another Wednesday.
You checked the debate last night?
Oh man, that was quite the flip, man. Props to Kamala and her team, man. I remember how we talked about the last debate, how Biden was in it, and so quite the turnaround for the Democrats.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too, is in that last episode when we were talking about the different campaign strategies and like what seems to work and what doesn't. I remember we had talked about Kamala Harris's campaign was all about freedom, and that being like her central like engine, the focus of her entire campaign. You know, we went through the different presidencies and how each one had a different one. Like you really got a taste of that freedom message a bit, right? Like I think her entire narrative, everything she was saying was about, you know, breaking away from the past and looking forward to the future, and like the things that we can accomplish together if we come together as a nation. Like I think that freedom notion was definitely like an undertone on the entire debate. And you know, of course, like Trump stayed to his playbook as well, right? I think he had a strategy that worked, and he did it straight from it. So it was entertaining to say the least, and I think I kind of got caught up with all the news coverage and the memes that came after with all this like go spot go and cats and dogs and stuff. So good old social media just ran with it.
All dogs matter.
Yeah, all dogs matter. I love it. Well, we got a really interesting one for you guys. You know, today it's just me and the deal. So Salim is taking a break off this week, but we wanted to try up a new format today. Like, you know, we have some you know, really interesting takes on this pod. You know, we come prepared with some ideas, and we love to talk about it. We feel like it could be something that that you guys could really understand and relate to, and you guys might find interesting. And you guys have told us things to work on and things to stop doing. So we wanted to take in that feedback and kind of get into a new segment today, and we're calling it Mad Takes. Mad Takes. So we're gonna come at you guys with some pretty hot, not necessarily controversial, but provocative thoughts in the world of business and marketing strategies, and really thinking about things a little bit differently, but really coming to you with a really good hot take. So we each got one, and we'll talk about it. So Adeel, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Men go mad.
Who's gone mad?
Madmen.
You're mad.
The man's mad.
Madmen.
I'm mad.
All right, so I'll take off the first one. Let's face it, these days, that if you throw a rock in the marketing world, you'll eventually hit the word authenticity. It is damn everywhere. We even use it on this very pod. Brands are tripping over themselves to prove that they are the real deal, genuine, no fakes allowed. The amount of briefs, brand positioning, or creative direction that says the brand must come through authentically. What the hell does that even mean? Let's dive in to why authenticity in marketing is the biggest marketing scam of the century. Where did being authentic come from? Back in the day, like 2010-ish, our trust in companies hit a bit of a rough patch. Coming off of the 2008 financial crisis, corporate scandals, the rise of social media, all made consumers really start distrusting brands. So businesses turned on their genuine neon signs and started scripting this narrative everywhere that they are transparent, real, and hey, just like us. This was them being authentic. And sure enough, being authentic became the hottest club that every brand wanted to be seen at. Well, we as consumers have gotten pretty damn good at spotting when someone is selling us the "we're so real right now" line. Let's take one that you may recognize as one of the best ad campaigns out there, Dove's Real Beauty campaign, receiving a whole lot of praise for celebrating natural beauty. But then we peek behind the curtain and see parent company Unilever pushing skin lightening products overseas. You remember Fair and Lovely? You remember that? Well, now it's called Glow and Lovely because, you know, woke, but it's still skin lightening cream and one of the best selling skincare products in India. Everyone seems to follow the same playbook. Every damn craft beer or coffee shop starts humming the same tune of "We're born from pure untouched springs" or "Beans whisper to sleep by monks." It gets a bit repetitive. It's like being at a party where everyone claims they're friends with the host, but they can't find the kitchen. So what's better than being authentic? Innovation. Imagine the Wright brothers obsessed over authentic carriage makers rather than flying off into the sunset. Where would we be? Apple and Tesla get this. They're out making the next big thing that'll change our lives, while others are busy proving how real they are. What about being clear? How about just telling us what you're getting without the fluff? Costco doesn't parade around its authenticity. It simply says, come here, buy in bulk, save a ton. And it works. And lastly, what is better than being authentic? Adaptable. It's perhaps the most authentic thing a brand can do, staying in tune to what people really need and flexing to meet those needs without losing your spark. Now, that is a juggling act worth paying for. So next time a brand tries to tell you that they are as authentic as your grandma's apple pie, take a bite with a caution. Authenticity in marketing is overrated.
I actually wish I could disagree with you, man, but I totally agree on this one. So look, authenticity, in my opinion, is total bullshit. The more and more I've really dove into what is getting clicked on when I put out my own company's ads and things like that. Marketing a brand is really about selling an unrealistic future with a product or a service. People want to give you money for something they want to aspire to be. And authenticity, the only role they really play in that is to appear a little empathetic, but really they're trying to sell you something. This brand is trying to sell you something that is unrealistic at the end of the day. Take example of selling Windex. If you were tasked to sell Windex, the authentic angle would be, hey, we get it. You're a busy mom and it sucks when your house is dirty. And you may show clothes everywhere and you're selling Windex, a window cleaner, but you'll see total chaos everywhere, right? Now, all of a sudden, mom uses Windex and the house is entirely clean. Authentic would be you have clean windows, but everything else in the house is still a mess. But you are selling an unrealistic future because of one product. And really, how can Windex put the dishes away? How can Windex put the kids to bed? How can Windex give you a romantic evening with your husband? But that's what they sell, right? And so it is always unrealistic what a brand's job is to portray. But there's just this buzzword now, like how authentic can you be? And when you look at the rise of TikTok, it's like, it just feels so authentic. No, it doesn't. It's just beautiful people acting like they do the same shit regular people do, but you follow them because they're beautiful, right? So it's total nonsense. I think people are going to slowly start to see through that. This is not authentic still. And really, I think we'll start to just accept that, hey, no, we want aspirational looking people and we want beautiful people to sell us things. So there you go. I mean, that's my take on that.
Yeah, you're spot on. Like who decides what is authentic? And if it's going to be like the brand, then anything the brand does can be justified to be authentic. It makes no sense. And you're right that it is just like a buzzword that people just like to describe themselves as authentic. But I really think the more powerful word is being adaptable. Our world changes way too frequently and way too much for us to be classified as just one way. And the only way that we can be considered authentic is by doing that one thing, that one particular way. That's not real, right? I like to talk about this on the pod, that I like to imagine brands as people. Are people authentic if they only do one thing the one way all the time? People change, people grow, their environments change, their surroundings change, context changes. So much changes, but yet we are restricted to be defined by a single definition of being authentic. It makes absolutely no sense. So definitely, like, if you're having this debate about what a brand does is called authentic or not, it's complete bullshit.
Yeah. So I'll go next. Look, if you are a mid-level manager, you need to start counting your days. Mid-level managers everywhere are losing their jobs, and CEOs are turning into founder mode CEOs. So Y Combinator founder Paul Graham put out an essay recently comparing founder mode CEOs to managerial mode CEOs. Look, founder mode alludes to the idea that the top executive is really involved in the nitty-gritty. He or she's in every meeting. They're really focused on what products they want to put out. They focus on a lot of the details. Now, managerial mode CEOs focus more on just following the process, having multiple layers of leadership in between, delegating the work from the top down and slowly seeing the progress and seeing the process go through. But look, my belief is that companies that constantly innovate, from fashion like I do, CPG companies, etc., they need to be founder-led companies. They need to have their founder mode on. Now, just think about it. When you start playing telephone with new ideas and fresh thinking from the top down, you're not getting that original idea. There's just going to be a slight variation along the way, right? That's why Steve Jobs, when he knew he wanted to make disruptive products, he ran Apple in founder mode. He would sit with the bottommost designer and nitpick every little detail, the curve, the font, every small detail he would have that on, even as a CEO. The most minute changes matter to a founder-led, to a founder mode CEO. So let's look at Apple today. It's definitely being ran as more manager mode. And what are we seeing? iPhone 16 just launched, very little innovation, very little risk taken. It's because it's in managerial mode. So the consensus now amongst a lot of even larger companies is to really push the envelope and differentiate and make those huge strides. CEOs need to have founder mode turned on. We're in tough times right now, and you see it from all sorts of companies. They're going back to the nitty gritty. I'm doing it myself. I'm speaking firsthand, and so all I say is that if you want to see some serious innovation, turn on founder mode, and you will slowly start to see a lot of mid-level managers get the axe in the process.
I like this notion of founder mode, and I feel like it's a really simple way to understand the kind of mindset to embrace in a kind of company environment. I think I can't disagree with you here either. I think, and I practically live in mid-management. So technology is the new boss, right? Like let's put managers aside. Advanced tools and software are now doing the heavy lifting that was once handled by a lot of middle management. You need to track a project, there's an app for that. Communication, Slack is in your corner. Companies are flattening, right? Even the companies that I work at, that there is definitely a flattening. Even take Zappos, right? Who basically turned their company into a game of corporate Jenga. They removed layers and they started betting on self-management. Why? Because there's fewer roadblocks and more runway for everyone's ideas. I think you're spot on that this really starts to turn up the innovation engine when you remove people from the solution, right? And I think fewer roadblocks and more runway leads to more innovation. Remote work, thanks to our good old buddy COVID-19, it turns out that folks working from their couches, and it can be productive, that there is no need for someone to hover and manage. Yes, there is a question about productivity on an individual basis, but working remote was not just about cutting costs, but it's about trusting people to pull their weight without a daily roll call. It wasn't about trying to find another way to supervise people. It was the solutions that we're looking for is how do we infuse productivity and that you're doing it on your own. This is I like this term also that I came across, the do-ocracy, right? We're all getting a little bit more elbow room to stir things up, right? We got quicker decisions and companies are able to move faster than ever. And when everyone gets to throw their hat in the ring in a fight, there's going to be some golden ideas that pop up. So it's like turning this brainstorm into a brain hurricane. And now when you're directly in the action, you're coming up with ideas, you're being productive, you're working towards a solution. Every win feels a little bit more personal. That you're not just about trying to appease your manager or trying to earn this gold star, but you're actually working towards a solution and you've come up with something. And I think that's going to be a really good solve for a lot of companies who are dealing with a lot of turnover. I think this notion of turning on founder mode, as self-serving as it could sound to a corporate person, right? Like you're kind of buying into the corporate vision, you will actually be more satisfied if you are given the autonomy and the responsibility to come up with a productive solution. You're going to have more skin in the game now. You're going to feel more accomplished because now you're working for a solution and you are managing yourself. So definitely agree with you. The office landscape is changing and it's less about keeping your head down and more about rolling up your sleeves. And I think this is something that everybody really should start embracing because technology is not going to slow this down. And it's only going to take a little bit more time for us to all realize that it is up to us to be productive and to manage our own productivity. And that this middle management and being responsible for people is not going to matter.
Yeah, it's weird times right now when it comes to multiple layers of leadership, and I mean, you start even seeing it from the top. You don't need a CMO anymore. CMOs are becoming the CEOs, and there's just a lot of redundancies are being identified, and it's because of the introduction of, I mean, a lot of COVID technologies that we are still using to this very day.
Awesome. Well, this was a good one, right? We only got 2 of us here today, but these mad takes are really fun. We get to come in with some pretty bold topics and some provocative thinking, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Give us some feedback. We'd love to get your thoughts on it. Salim, we missed you, buddy. But that's it for us. Signing off. See ya.
Stay fabulous, guys.
Men go mad.
Who's gone mad?
Madmen.
You're mad.
The man's mad.
Madmen.
I'm mad.